Hey everyone, and welcome back. With Phase 6 fast approaching, it is time to stack on some gold, as Phase 6 is going to be a very gold-hungry phase. You will need many expensive items to get your gear sets, gonna need many and new consumables, and even to get into the new raid, you're gonna need to shed out a lot of gold unless you're exalted. So today I'm gonna share my list of items that I think you should stack on. A list of items that are going to be in very high demand in a couple of months and worth a fortune. We'll discuss what these items are, why they're going to be in high demand, and what's the best place to farm them. Well, let's begin. In the number one spot I have the Nexus Crystal and the Arcanite Bar. These items will see the highest increase in price from current, as they will not only be required to enter the Nexoramus, they will also be in high demand for obtaining the level 3 or the tier 3 gear set and enchanting it. Currently Nexus crystals are about 11 gold each and Arcanite bar is about 70. I expect at least a 200% increase on the crystals and maybe 100% to 150% increase on the bars. Now both items cannot be necessarily farmed as they're a product of enchanting and alchemy. Now to get the Arcanite bar you need to transmute thorium bar and an Arcanite crystal. You can only do it once every 2 days as an alchemist. To get the Nexus Crystal, you need to disenchant a level 52 plus purple item, which will produce at least one, sometimes two crystals. Now the number 2 item on my list is the Greater Frost Protection Potion and the recipe for it. Players will need a lot of those potions for several bosses in Nexoramus. They will be in high demand. Now, I was going to try to farm the recipe, which can only be dropped by one mob in the entire game of World of Warcraft, which is the Frost Giant. It has a 4% chance of dropping, and only Frost Giants can be found in this little spot here. Now, I've been hopping layer to layer, and it looks like the Frost Giants are heavily farmed, as you can see here by the horde. So I will probably not have a chance to attempt to farm the recipe just to see how easy it is to obtain it or how easy it is to kill the giants, because like I said, every layer is farmed, but it is 4% chance of drop, so I don't know if you want to spend too much time trying to farm the recipe. Now for the potion itself, you're going to require the following ingredients. The main ingredient being the elemental water. But you may not be an alchemist yourself, however other alchemists will be buying elemental water in bulk to create the Greater Frost Protection potions. The best mob in the game, skipping the elites, non-elite mob, is these Cresting Exiles to farm the elemental waters. They're located right here in Arathi Highlands and they have 17% chance of dropping elemental water. Now there aren't too many of them here and you can probably clear them all in 2 minutes or so, and then you have to wait for them to respawn. So the second best mob that has a 14% chance of dropping the elemental water is the lesser water elementals, which are located right here on this island in Stranglethorn Vale. That island has about 40 of them at any given time that could be farmed probably in a greater number than these ones in Arathi. I just cleared this whole camp in like under 2 minutes. I got 2 elemental waters, which are currently going for 2.5 gold. However, again, with the demand increasing for the Greater Frost Protection Potion, I foresee this going up to what elemental fires were and what elemental earth is currently, about 7, maybe 8 gold, maybe even going up to 10 gold per pop. So I think it would be a solid investment farming some of these elemental waters now, or buying them and then selling them once Phase 6 comes out. Hey guys, before we go to the next one, I wanted to thank you all for your support and thank you all for watching this video. If you find this at all interesting or informative, please like and subscribe. Your subscriptions are what helps me going. I am currently lacking 142 subscribers from reaching my first monetization goal with YouTube. If you could, I'd greatly appreciate it. It'll help me out tremendously. If not, that's alright too. I hope you find this video interesting. Thank you. Now in number 3 spot, I have a Greater Shadow Protection Potion. Its recipe and the components it takes to make it. Now, Greater Shadow Protection Potion, a recipe is can only be obtained over in Eastern Plaguelands, over here and here from Dark Adepts and Shadow Mages. Both have about 2%, well 1.9 to be exact, percent chance of dropping the recipe. So I just arrived here. I'm gonna see how easy is it to farm one, if the time investment is worth the gold for which they're selling for. And see if that's something I should dedicate my time to. Now, to make the potion, you would require dream foil and shadow oil. Shadow oil is another product of alchemy, which is made by combining fade leaf and grave moss together. Dreamfoil will not go up in price because it's been used for resistance potions throughout the phases, for fire protection, nature protection, and now for frost and shadow protection. So that won't change, but the ingredients for the shadow protection recipe, which is grave moss, fade leaf, and its recipe, I do expect to go up significantly in price. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can farm the recipe and let you know if the time investment is worth the gold. Alright, well, I have gotten my recipe. There it is. The recipe of Greater Shadow Protection Potion. It was about 1 hour and 34 minutes into farming that I've got it. On Auction House, it is currently 100 gold. So I don't think it is worth the time to farm it. I mean, you may get lucky and get it within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or you may not get lucky at all and farm it for 2 hours and it'll never drop. There are much better gold farms that'll guarantees like 150 gold per hour steadily without depending on luck. So if you'd like to get this recipe for yourself or buy a few to sell later, I recommend just farming the gold the other way and then buying it off the auction house at this time. Now this leads us to the next farm, which is the Essence of Water. I think Essence of Water will go up in price quite a bit once Phase 6 comes out, as it is already used for many enchants and it is currently costs a decent amount of gold. However, with the Phase 6, Essence of Water will be critical ingredient in the frost resist gear. And again, it'll be other enchants and other things that it'll be continued to be used for. The two best spots for farming Essence of Water, again if we're to exclude the elite elementals, is the Fellwood with a 7% chance drop rate, and the Eastern Plaguelands with a 6% chance drop rate. Now, since I happen to be already in the Eastern Plaguelands, I decided to do a quick farm over at the lakes instead of going to Fellwood because it's quite a ways away. But with those factors in upcoming Phase 6, I believe Essence of Water will be a very good investment and to be sold at the max cost in Phase 6. Now, last but not least is Felcloth. Well, Mooncloth, but it's made out of 2 Felcloth by tailors. Now, arguably, Felcloth should be in the #1 spot, sharing it with Arcanite Bar and Nexus Crystal, as it will be in the huge demand when Nexramas comes. It's used for so many different things, anything from bags to frost resist gear, shadow resist gear. To obtain your tier 3 set, you would require some Mooncloth to trade in for the set. That's why it's going to go up in price, as there will be new recipes, so to say, or new demand for the item. The reason it's not in the first spot, as first it's very heavily farmed. The two best spots where it drops is the Fellwood over in this area and Ashara over in this area. Now, it drops from Satyrs. It's a 4% chance drop. Every time that I would go there, there's always Horde, Alliance, everybody's farming Felcloth because of its high current demand. Now, the demand will only go up, but because it's not an item that can be obtained for a cheap amount or inexpensive at this time, that's why I did not include it in the first spot. It will go up in price by some, and it's a good investment. It's a solid investment for later phases of WoW, anywhere throughout any part of the era release. But it is something that if you have, you may hold on to it until the Phase 6, or might buy some or go farm some if you will. But anyway, here is the full list of items that I think would make a solid investment into Phase 6. Will make you a lot of gold, and or perhaps you'll just have the items to trade for your tier 3 set, where you don't have to be buying them off the auction house. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, see you in Azeroth.